If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and another tutorial. Today I'm happy to sew along with you the Glam and Go by Sew Yours. This is such a fun and fast make, like amazing. It's great for gifts. It's great for if you are doing a craft show and you need some really amazing looking bags that don't take a ton of time to make. Super fast. What else I love, another thing I love about this pattern is Melissa has included different options. So you can see here, I've done this one two-toned with a clear printed vinyl on top. You could also do it two-toned with, these could be done in cotton as well, with two solid colors or a vinyl or cotton print on top, or you can do it like I've done this one in all vinyl. It's amazing. Now, this is a bound finish. Don't be scared of the binding. In this video, I show you how to do a waterproof canvas binding finish, which I am still learning, and do you know what? I'm almost sold on it. My preferred way is with bias tape, but there's just something about the waterproof canvas that makes it so much easier. You get to skip a bunch of steps. It's awesome. In this tutorial, I am making this one here. This is the vinyl from Sew Yours. Melissa was amazing and she sent me the vinyl and the hardware and the fold over elastic that we use on the inside, which I should show you. So you can see fold over elastic, and this is for like your brushes, and this side here I have it all separated for palettes or what have you. Yeah. This is called, let me look up the name because I forget. Think it's called the Crimson Blush vinyl. She sent me the name. Let me find it. I should have done my homework before doing this. 1 second. Please hold. Where are we? This is called the Crimson Blush Vinyl by Sew Yours. And again, all of the hardware was also from Sew Yours. The interfacing you need in this is a Decaville Light and Decaville Heavy or something equivalent. If you're using cotton, of course, you would make sure you've also backed them with a medium woven interfacing. I use waterproof canvas on the inside because that's what makes sense to me when you are doing a cosmetics bag. So it's a little bit easy to wipe out if something were to spill. It's not going to wreck your bag. I love it. This one here is what we made in our, on the membership side. This was the December Tuesday 2023 classes. I made this one with the class where we did the option with the two-tone and the clear vinyl. In this tutorial, where I do the option of the solid vinyl. So if you need a slowed down version of this tutorial and you want to learn the two-toned, definitely check out the membership side and you can follow along there, or just continue on with this one doing the solid. What else? Thank you so much, Melissa, for allowing me to do this tutorial of yet another one of your amazing patterns. How about we get to making this bag? So you're going to need some number 5 zipper tape, some fold over elastic, your nameplate, 2 rectangular rings, 2 number 5 zipper pulls, and some rivets. Going to need your binding pieces, your bottom gusset piece, lining and exterior with your interface outside of the seam allowances, your main exterior and 2 main lining panels interfaced with Decaville Light, your back zipper panel with Decaville Light on it, that's your lining and exterior, as well as your front zipper panels, exterior and linings, and your handle piece, as well as a connector piece. Okay, so now we're going to work on our handles and connectors. On both, I've drawn a center line. I'm going to use some double-sided tape. You can definitely use clips here if you prefer. Put some, what we want to do is take the long edges of these and fold them into the center. So we'll start with the connector piece first, fold those long edges into the center. And then what we're going to do is we are going to top stitch along those with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. A handle piece, you're going to do the same thing, fold it into the center line. And then fold it once more in upon itself, wrong sides together, and hold that with clips. And this you're going to top stitch each of the sides with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. So the connector is a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance and the handle is an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, like so. Now we're going to take our connector piece, fold it wrong sides together, and cut it into 2 equal pieces. Okay, now on our handle piece, we're going to measure in as per the pattern measurements onto the wrong sides. So check your pattern for this measurement, make a line. Then you're going to take your rectangular ring. I'm going to use a little double-sided tape to help hold everything in place. Put it on the ends of the short ends of the handle. Slide on your rectangular ring, and then you're going to fold this over the rectangle ring, lining up the short raw edge with that line that we had just drawn. Same with the opposite side. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put rivets here and here to hold that in place. So that is all done. That's the handle piece complete. Now for our connector piece, we want to draw a center line on the wrong side of the connectors. Again, I'm going to use some double-sided tape right in the middle where that line I just drew was. And you're going to lay it out with your handle with everything right side up. And then you're going to kind of take the connector, put it up like so, and then fold the raw edges into the wrong side right to that line we had just drawn. Do the same with the opposite side. I'm also going to put some double-sided tape on the wrong side to help me put it on the bag later on. So again, put it in the rectangular ring like this and fold those short edges to that line on the wrong side. And put some tape on there as well. And I'm also going to use some clips. These are rose gold clips from Sew Yours. Everything in this video is pretty much from Sew Yours. Okay, so now what we're going to do is now we're going to work on our zipper panels. So I've put my 2 pulls on. I've made my zipper tape just slightly longer, and I'm just going to use a little clip on the end so those don't fly off. I have my lining of my front zipper panel right side up. I'm going to use some double-sided tape along one edge of that. Again, you can definitely use clips here if you prefer. So again, the lining panel is right side up. And then I'm also going to take my zipper tape right side up and I'm going to place it right along there and stick or clip it down. And I've kept it long to the right hand side so I can have my zipper pulls out of the way when I'm sewing this. Now you're going to take your exterior piece right side up right now and you are going to put some tape, or you will be using clips. So I'm putting tape along one of the edges, and then I'm going to put this right sides together with my zipper, making sure it matches up with the lining panel so they're all right sides together. Clip or stick it in place, making sure they're nice and even. Then we're going to go ahead and sew across here with a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Is sewn, you want to push these away from the zipper tape, wrong sides together. You can finger press it if you're using this in cotton. You can definitely iron it. I'm going to use some double-sided tape as my pressing agent here, as I'm using vinyl. And I'm going to put it right along the seam there and push this nice and taut away from the zipper teeth. Once I have the exterior done, I'm going to flip it over and do the exact same thing with the lining side, bringing the exterior and the lining wrong sides together. Once we have that all secured in place, I'm just going to use some clips along the bottom raw edge here because we are going to baste this bottom shut. So making sure your lining and your exterior match up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to baste along here and then top stitch along the zipper and then baste the bottom closed as well.
Now this is what that looks like. She looks pretty good. You're going to go ahead and you're going to do the exact same thing with the back zipper panels on the other side of the zipper tape. So this is the whole zipper panel done like so. Now pull your zipper pulls into the center like so, and you can go ahead and you can trim up your zipper tape to match the width of your zipper panel. Okay, now we're going to work on our handle piece. So it will be going through all layers here. You're going to take your pattern piece and line up the raw edge of the pattern piece with the raw edge of the back zipper panel. I've put some slits into the markings where the handle placement is, and I'm just going to take my erasable pen and draw lines where the connectors will go. So we have that double-sided tape on the back side of the connector. Where the connector joins to that rectangular rings, you're going to go ahead and line that up with that line, and then you're going to sew a box around the connector, getting as close as you can to the hardware. I like to put my left zipper foot on to do that. And sew all the way around that, and then you will also do the same with the opposite side of the handle and connector pieces at the other mark. Now you see that's all done. I've gone ahead and I've put a rivet into the connectors for extra stability. And now we are going to put the bottom gusset on. Now if you've done your seam allowances right, these should be the same width. You're going to take the two exterior pieces and put them right sides together like this, lining up the short side. Flip this over so lining side is up. Take your lining bottom gusset piece and put it right sides together with the lining piece and sew through that seam with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And then you're going to top stitch them, pulling them away from that seam, and top stitch them with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance with the seam facing towards the bottom panels. So that is all done. It looks good. Now we want to undo the zipper. Be careful not to pull it off of the pull. You're going to bring the lining side, the other side of the linings together like so. And then you're going to kind of squish this so you can bring the exteriors together, just like we did with the opposite side. It's just a little more cumbersome just because we have one side sewn already. And then you're going to go ahead and you are going to sew across there with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, like I have done here. We haven't top stitched yet. What we want to do is we want to turn this right side out, bringing the lining and the exteriors wrong sides together. They should fit in here pretty good. And then where we are not connected, so we want to bring our lining and our exteriors together like so with some clips, because we are going to baste this shut. This is easiest to do with it turned wrong side out. Match up the centers of the lining and the exterior panels and clip those raw edges in place. It should fit in here nicely. Once you have one side done, go ahead and flip it over and clip the other side. Then once this is done, what we are going to do is we are going to start basting the side where it starts right where we did our top stitching on the one gusset side. So we're going to go down here, and then we're going to pivot, and we are going to top stitch that seam where we join the gusset and then baste down the opposite side. Here we are. This is all done. You can kind of flip it out and make sure it all looks good, which it does. Make sure your zipper opens and closes, and that is the gusset zipper panel complete. What we want to do is make sure that our bottom centers are still the same, so match up the seams and do your small clips or your marks at the top and bottoms of both sides. Then you can go ahead and you can set this aside for now. So now we're going to work on our main panel. So I've already put my nameplate in. I've marked my top and bottom centers. Now on our lining pieces, we want to do our brush holders for or makeup holders. So I'm going to cut my piece in half here. And our pattern piece, for the pattern piece, it is a bottom panel for if you're doing the two-tone one. There's markings here for where you are going to place your fold over elastic. So I'm just using that as a guide and marking it with an air erase pen. I'm going to take one side and I'm going to line it up so the top of my double fold elastic is where that line was. And then I'm going to divide this, well, I'm going to baste down the sides as well as down the middle to hold this in place. And then I'm going to do some other lines along the way. So I like to go about 3/4 of an inch from the center lines. You can do whatever you like here depending on what you're going to be holding here. But I found 3/4 of an inch lines worked really well for my makeup brushes for in this. And then on my opposite side, I am just going to have it separated into 2 sections for my eyeshadow palettes or what have you. So what we're going to do once we have our lines all planned out, we're going to first baste the sides, the center, and then work from our centers out. And so just through our double fold elastic to form our little holders for our brushes and makeup palettes. You can see here I'm just using a pen that's pretty good spacing, and I have my 2 here for my pallets. Now what we want to do is we want to take our exterior pieces and we want to put these wrong sides together with our lining pieces. So decide which one you want on the front and the back of the bag. With these wrong sides together, you're going to clip them in place. Once these are all clipped together, you're going to go ahead and you're going to baste around the exterior with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance for both. Okay, so there's our main panels done and our gusset panels done. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my front one first. Now, we're going to take our gusset. We want to make sure we're using the narrow side of our zipper to be for the front of the bag. Match up that top center, put in a couple clips. Again, the narrow side of the zipper panel goes with the front of the bag. Go ahead and do the same with the bottom centers of this one side, clipping it together with the gusset zipper panel piece. And then go ahead and start evenly distributing the fabric in between those center marks and clipping in place. Now you may see the gusset doesn't want to go around the rounded parts, and that's because that's a straight piece. So to make that rounded and to make it so those fabrics spread around in the gusset zipper panel pieces, put little maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch snips all the way around, and then that'll help spread the gusset fabric out to help you get around those curves. It turns a straight piece into a curvy piece. Once you have that all clipped into place, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to sew around here with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, making sure to pivot at the bottom where you have your pointy bottoms. So that is all done. Kind of run your finger around, make sure everything was caught. And if it was, we are ready for binding. So I'm doing waterproof canvas binding for this one. This has become my new favorite type of binding. It's pretty quick. I'm going to use some double-sided tape down the middle of my binding piece here. You can use just clips. You don't have to use double-sided tape if you want to. I'm going to be using clips and double-sided tape just because I like to make things extra secure. Now what we're going to do is take this waterproof canvas binding and we are going to fold it over that seam, making sure that we have it folded over evenly on the front and back. So when we're sewing this together, we can try to get it all in one go, catching both the top and bottom binding. So go ahead and stick or clip this around, making sure that they are matching up on both the front and the back side. Clip it into place all the way around. Don't be afraid to use lots of clips. You do not want your binding to slip and slide when you're doing this. It's really nice when you can actually get this in one pass. This is super easy way to do binding. Once you have the binding in place, what you're going to do is you're going to take this to your machine and you are going to top stitch 1/8 of an inch away from the raw edge of your binding piece, making sure to catch the bottom binding pieces as well. If you don't catch it, if you're using the same color thread, it's easy to go back in and fix up anything with it being kind of camouflaged, with it being the same color thread as your binding. Using a stiletto definitely helps keep things in place. Go slowly, go clip to clip, and work your way around. Okay, so that is one side all bound, all sides were caught. Look how seamless that looks. It just looks gorgeous. Now you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna do the exact same thing with the other main panel once you know this looks the way you want it to look. And you will do the same thing, how you bound and how you sewed it together as you did with the opposite side. Now this is what it looks like all done. Go ahead and turn this right side out. It's a really easy turn as it's a wide opening zipper here. So turn it out, push out all of your seams, make them nice and crisp. Once you have your bag seams all kind of pressed out the way you like them, admire your work, double check that all your extra threads are cut, pat yourself on the back. Your bag looks great. Make sure your zipper works, admire your work, and then we're done.
There you go. How fast was that? How amazing was that? I just love it. I'd love to see your glam and goes. Make sure you post them on my Facebook page to share. All that information is down below in the description. Also, where to buy the pattern is down below in the description. I truly hope you did enjoy this tutorial. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up and a comment down below. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. If you'd like to support my channel further, you can always buy me a coffee. That is also linked down below in the description. And also check out the membership side of the channel just in case there's something there that interests you as well. Anyways, until the next one, I'll catch you guys again. Bye!